No. No, he's not. But trust me, you want to stick with this. It all comes off the back of SmackDown over the weekend, but I actually thought it was one of the best SmackDowns of the year, to be honest with you, because it was 2 hours and it zoomed on by. People yelled at me, appreciate that, and you can yell at me right now in the comments too. Nothing wrong with that. But this comes off the fact that we had the contract signing, because it is a wrestling event in the modern day, when John Cena and Cody Rhodes sat down, and John Cena was all like, oh my gosh, I can't do this match at SummerSlam because they have Netflix filming. There's nothing you can do. So Cody Rhodes beat the crap out of him and signed the deal with his own hand, which is not legally binding. Very excited to see how WWE approaches that. Then all of a sudden, people on the internet, and I understand these are the crazy and probably the engagement farmers, but I think there's some truth in this as well, or at least some speculation. And I'm not saying he's not going to turn heel, but I'll get to that in just 1 second. But people are like, oh my gosh, you can actually see when Cody Rhodes goes heel and John Cena goes babyface. We have done a double turn. I was like, what the flub are you talking about? Now, one, John Cena was being a coward and trying to back out of a stipulated SummerSlam match because, of course, Cody Rhodes won King of the Ring, right? That's the deal. You can't get out of this. Nothing you can do. In terms of when we're watching the television product and the story, wrestling or WWE priorities have to be up here because otherwise someone could say, oh, I've got to fix my toilet. You're like, all right, yeah, I guess we'll do it at Night of Champions in 2029. But Cena also fought back and tried to hit Cody Rhodes with the championship. Cody had talked about not flinching anymore, so this was him getting his edge back, not Adam Copeland. He went to AEW. His attitude, to use proper WWE words, his ruthless aggression, to use worse WWE words. And I just didn't understand whether flub you could even say that. It would be like saying, I don't know, Randy Orton win the title and then saying Randy Orton's been fired. Like, I don't understand how you got here from what you saw on the television. And I guess it just kind of underlines how people watch professional wrestling these days, or how they kind of see characters. And maybe this is one of the reasons why Cody Rhodes has been able to get over as a goody two-shoe babyface. And Hangman Adam Page, he's a goody two-shoe babyface. He's also a psychopath, but his heart is in the right place. And maybe we've actually gone back to a time where if you do anything that's off kilter, you're a bad guy. Now, I was talking to Sean Ross Sapp about this over the internet, over the wonderful Twitter, whatever we're calling it nowadays. And he mentioned this too, and I responded, yeah, imagine this audience, or whoever these people are, seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin, who was a babyface, who didn't want to be a babyface at first, but people thought his actions were so cool because he would beat everybody up. He threatened Vince McMahon's life with a fake gun. Different story, different day, but fans lapped it up. And for me, I think your babyface needs some, what did you use the term again, some edge, especially when you go back to WrestleMania 41 and essentially Cody Rhodes got dicked over because he was being a little bit of a wuss, right? Oh, I can't hit you with a title. It's like, hit him. He's been horrible to you. He assaulted you at the Elimination Chamber, but I understand the story. I've always said I assume that Cody Rhodes will win the belt back at SummerSlam, and he's going to do that by realizing, oh my gosh, if I want to take down the dark side, I must be the dark side, but of course we can't kill anyone, to use Batman rules. But I really don't think that was supposed to be a tease of a heel turn. It was just Cody sort of, taking control and being like, you're not going to get to walk over this company anymore, John Cena. You've been doing awful things for 6 months. If anything, I thought it was a catalyst to turn Cena back babyface again. Because after Cody whoops his ass in a street fight, John Cena can kind of walk away with his tail between his legs and say, I lost my championship. My badness didn't work. I can't believe it. I'm sorry. Maybe he gives Cody Rhodes a hug. Because Cody is really smart, right? He keeps throwing in on all of these promos words like, I don't want to be the guy to take out the most beloved WWE superstar ever, but we're going to have to do it, especially if it gets a 180 and gets John Cena back on the path of good. But at no point when I was watching that SmackDown did I see it as a heel turn. I saw it as Cody being a badass. And when it comes to professional wrestling, given that it is fighting, right? It may be fighting in our pants, but it's still fighting. You have to have that eventually. You don't have to have it all of the time, but when the situation calls for it, and some people actually saw that as a heel turn. Now listen, that doesn't mean come SummerSlam we're not going to do a heel turn. Maybe that's WWE's plans. I think they would be crazy to do that now because we are nowhere near the end of the babyface run. And I wouldn't compare it to Steve Austin in 2001 because he had been a babyface for a lot longer by that stage. It was still a mistake, but I think there's more logic to why we did do that. But Cody should be able to run the gauntlet for the rest of 2025 into 2006. We still have the proper Randy Orton program, and we've already planted the seeds that Randy Orton would be the heel. It may not be that way with the fans, but you have to wait and see. And of course, we've got the proper match with CM Punk, and you could even do Roman Reigns again. I mean, I probably wouldn't, but you could do. Maybe when you do that, Cody Rhodes should be a heel. Maybe that's when we pull the trigger. But if you did it now, it's way too early, especially because Cody Rhodes is about to win the belt for the second time. I just think, the first time you win it, there's a certain novelty to it. And the second time you win it is kind of when you get deep down into the weeds. So Cody should be that babyface, especially because you look at the numbers, the merchandise people coming to see him. He still gets massive pops and overwhelmingly cheered. The only time he ever got boos was around WrestleMania. WrestleMania is a crazy time, right? You can't put any credence into that because people just do whatever the flub they want, which makes that time so exciting. So unless you actually get some visual evidence, apart from crazy people on the internet saying Cody Rhodes should turn heel, we shouldn't do it. Some people said, well, maybe The Rock comes back. I don't mind The Rock coming back. The Rock is a massive star. But if it's to turn Cody heel, hold it off. WrestleMania 42 at the earliest is when we should be turning him heel. Especially with all the legwork we've done with Randy Orton, that would be a swerve for the sake of the swerve. I don't think just because it feels obvious that Randy Orton is going to be the bad guy, you make Cody the bad guy. That's just doing stuff. And I hate that. It's Vince Russo booking. I'm bored of it. I never want to go back to it. One of my favorite things about all storytelling recently, it's just nice and simple stuff. Hangman Adam Page takes down the Death Riders. He wins the championship. Cody Rhodes is about to get revenge on John Cena, who's been awful for half a year. He wins it back. Finishing the story, all of that nonsense. It's just good stuff, and it just makes you feel warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum. But if you can't have a babyface that can kick ass, you really do have your back against the wall. And then actually what you get, and this is no shade on him, it wasn't his fault, he was booked terribly. Well, there's a few examples, really. It's like Rey Mysterio, when he won the title at WrestleMania, it was such a feel-good moment. I understand it was off the back of Eddie Guerrero, which made it a bit controversial, depending on your take on that story. But seeing somebody of Rey's stature, who was the complete antithesis to what WWE really wanted, or really lent into, the airport test, etc., was awesome, especially because it's a game changer. But then they made him look like an idiot over and over again. It wasn't his fault. Kind of the same thing with Kofi Kingston, right? My gosh, he should have been just treated way better than he was, and the whole Brock Lesnar thing, it just takes away your allure, right? So if Cody had just bent over, all right, yeah, sorry, John, you're a bit in the match, okay, then you would have booed him. Well, you can't just let him do that to you. Show a damn aggressive side, which he did do. And I want to see if surely John Cena can come out with a lawyer and say, excuse me, you can't take my hand and scribble some stuff on there. They did address the stuff with Rhea Ripley a few months ago when she kind of did the same. I mean, she just signed a singles contract. Went, I think this, please, it's a triple threat match now. But maybe it's part of the story. Ultimately, WWE had to do something big because SummerSlam's like tomorrow because there's no time for a build whatsoever. But I like the stipulation. I think street fight makes sense because we've already seen them fight once, right? So you don't need to go into the basic one-on-one. And also, everyone keeps telling me that John Cena needs bells and whistles and nonsense and shenanigans. Maybe he does. Maybe it's just a fun thing to do, right? Again, Bloodline Rules matches, Texas Death matches in AEW. It does open the door for shenanigans, which I do enjoy. And WWE always does it so well. So whatever it is, as long as it's a fun, entertaining match, what do I care? But Cody Rhodes should absolutely win and celebrate as a babyface and then come out on SmackDown, I suppose, on that Friday and be like, oh, we did it. Everybody would cheer him because people would be so happy. Especially then you probably get the big John Cena moments of people be happy there. And then within a few weeks, Randy Orton should RKO. And then we just move straight into that. I mean, probably can't do it that soon because Randy Orton shall be teaming with Jelly Roll. To take on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Man, did people get mad at me. I can't remember which late night show it was, either Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon or one of the other ones, Seth Meyers. But I just thought it was a lot of fun, right? It was just dumb. It was silly. Sometimes when wrestling tries to do that stuff, it's cringeworthy. I didn't think it was at all. I think Drew and Randy went out of their way to make sure there was a little bit of legitimacy to it. And when you remember the Jelly Roll and Logan Paul to a lesser extent, but of course he has more experience, but they're not full-time professional wrestlers, I thought they did great. And I saw the comments being like, well, how can Jelly Roll all of a sudden beat up people that are real wrestlers? Matt, if you want to get deep down as much as that, you're perfectly allowed to, but I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy for you. I want wrestling to be dumb, and I want wrestling to be entertaining. I just want to pretend that Jelly Roll's got training from Randy Orton, and all of a sudden he's an absolute badass. I understand that's stupid, and I understand you can pick holes in it, but wrestling is the world of the make-believe. And if everything is serious, I just wouldn't enjoy it as much as when we can have some fun and do some goofy wrestling for life, which most celebrity participants are, because they have to be. Listen, nothing will be as bad as it. Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. I never want to see Tyson Fury in anything. Different video for a different day. But the Cody Rhodes heel conversation, I don't think is for now. And you may massively disagree with me, so I'd love to hear from you, but I did not get it from that segment, especially because, again, what was the alternative booking? What else could we have possibly done? Like, Cody Rhodes needed to stand up to John Cena, which he didn't do back in April, which is one of the reasons why Travis Scott then took 47 years to get to the ring and cost him the match, essentially. So now he's learned. Maybe that's why he's doing a street fight, because then John Cena, you want to bring your nonsense, I'll be able to balance that out with my own nonsense. The Travis Scott thing now is an absolute disaster. We talked about this the other day. Sounded like he wasn't totally invested, which is his prerogative. Like, he's allowed to go, I don't want to do this. But the fact that he had that ridiculous entrance at WrestleMania, which is, in my opinion, when the match went downhill, and now there's no payoff. He hasn't been on any other shows. It's just a bit lame, really. And it's a shame because I've got another video coming out soon just looking at the 10 pay-per-views that WWE's had this year, sans NXT, and sort of ranking them. I still think Elimination Chamber is the best one we've done. Not necessarily because of that angle, but the Chamber matches and the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match. And I am somebody that has liked the John Cena 6-month run, mostly because I never thought we were going to get it, so I could enjoy it for what it was. But of course, on that night, we were excited to see what happens with Dwayne Johnson, what happens with Travis Scott to a lesser extent, and not being able to follow up that in the sensible way was a massive shame. But I still think we stick to the course. I think John Cena goes babyface, probably then moves back to Raw to feud with Seth Rollins' group or whoever the flub it's going to be. WWE's probably already figured that one out. Cody Rhodes stays on SmackDown, mega babyface, face of the company, and Roman's going to be on Raw too, so you can keep those two separate 100%. And then eventually, gets into the feud with Randy Orton, which absolutely should go through the end of the year. By the time we get to Survivor Series, if you want to do Team Cody versus Team Randy, and John Cena is on Team Cody, which will make it absolutely amazing, you should do it. Maybe Seth Rollins and his boys kind of get involved in that too. And then you'd really do have an all-star match, because I would also presume, if you are doing that, Team Cody would be Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Roman Reigns, probably a Jey Uso, and maybe a Sami Zayn too, or somebody like that. That is huge. And on the other side, you'd have like a Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and then, Seth Rollins and his boys. I mean, I'm just making up things now. You're probably not Drew and Randy together. Well, it depends. You could do that. It depends what Drew McIntyre's direction is. But that War Games match, and it is going to be War Games, would be absolutely huge. And then, because Cody stays on the good side of the world, seeing him and John Cena team up gives you that visual as well, which we haven't had. It's like the passing of the torch, it's the proper old guard to the new guard. CM Punk would probably be on that team too. So you could have, I'm going to forget it now, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and a Sami Zayn, or a Jey Uso. All right, you can interchange them. I think it's 5-on-5. Sometimes I confuse myself. Maybe WWE's changed it and that's why. But that is massive. That is mega, especially if Randy Orton is leading his own troops into war as well. Especially, let's say you could figure it out. If you have Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, and Drew McIntyre on one team, that will make people lose their minds too. It really could be an all-timer of a War Games, especially if we are starting to wink, wink, nudge, nudge about the Royal Rumble. And by that point in November, we'll be a few weeks away from John Cena's last match, so we'll start getting a good gauge of that too. But Cody should be good. Cody should be good for 2025. I just think it would be mad to do the heel turn. Now, of course, it would be a moment. And of course, I'd come on here and be like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. But I would also have that thing deep down in my Tootsie Toes being like, well, if it was amazing now, it would have been made in 6 to 8 months' time, because what's going to change? People still love him. And I haven't seen any kind of evidence to the contrary, apart from crazy crowds over WrestleMania, which, again, I think you have to tread carefully. You can't... Well, that's what we used to do, right, with Vince McMahon. You heard one thing, we've got to jump into it right now, and everyone's like, what the flub is going on, man? You get 2019 WWE, which I still think is one of the worst years WWE has ever done. You can go back and watch my videos and see me, the positive wrestling guy, melting as a human, because you can only justify things for so long before you're like, I can't handle it anymore. There's nothing else I can do. So no, I don't think Cody Rhodes is going to go heel. Doesn't mean he isn't. I want to make that very clear. But if we did it at SummerSlam, I would actually go back and say it's terrible booking on behalf of WWE, because nothing during that SmackDown segment said to me, oh man, this is wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Cody Rhodes is going heel. And who would boo him for that? People love it when guys crash through tables. He did a splash off the top rope through a table. When does Cody Rhodes ever go to the top? Unless it's for a super cutter or something like that. Never. So we're doing things outside of the box here to show you, oh my gosh, Cody Rhodes has gone crazy. That's why he grabbed his hand and signed it to say he's not taking any more gubbins, he's not taking any more guff, and he shall beat John Cena at SummerSlam. I think the betting odds right now have John Cena as the favourite. I think that's a mistake too. I think Cody's got to win. I think John Cena has to enjoy the last 6 months with not less pressure from a real point of view, but from a kayfabe point of view, where he doesn't have to worry about defending championships, and we can just put him in badass matches to get excited, because he's John Cena, and in many ways he's bigger than the WWE title, because not only has he reached that GOAT level, but he's only got a few dates left, and therefore that's way bigger than the WWE Championship, which is why when he does retire, he doesn't need the belt at all. John Cena's retirement sells itself. The big question, of course, is does he win or does he lose? We will discuss that nearer the time. So, no, I don't think Cody Rhodes is going heel anytime soon. Definitely 100% not. That was not what WWE was doing. And I think maybe I'm kind of clutching at straws here. Maybe people are just trying to outthink everything now because of the Seth Rollins thing. I don't know what's happening with the Seth Rollins things anymore. Maybe he was injured and we did a work at Satellite's main event. Maybe he's injured for real. It doesn't matter. I hate using this term because it's been plagiarized by WWE mostly, but I'm just going to let it play out. And if he is injured, I hope he's okay. And if he is going to cash in at SummerSlam, I will love it. And I go, bravo, WWE. That is some good professional wrestling working, especially in 2025 when we're not really sure what kayfabe is anymore. That would be a whole way of using kayfabe. The problem is it's still leaked out because people just like to talk, and one day we'll probably find that is. But I would, and we'll do SummerSlam predictions soon, I would do CM Punk wins and Seth Rollins' cash in, if that is on the cards, because then you can carry on that feud, but with Gunther in it too, and you add Gunther to anything and it's better. Like if you're making a dinner and you go with Gunther on the side, the dinner tastes more delicious, right? And that's all I've got to say about that, because it's a weird thing to say, and I kind of sound like I'm on drugs. So no, I'm going out on a limb. Cody Rhodes is not going to turn heel. I don't think he should turn heel yet. 2026, do whatever the flub you want. At WrestleMania, I kind of like the idea of it being Punk versus Cody, and Cody wins because he screws over Punk. I just love this storyline of Punk getting screwed over constantly, because I think I can actually see a world where people would boo Cody first before Punk, because Punk is kind of entering that legacy state, which is probably already there, where people just love him because he's been around so long and they have so many memories of him. It's the same with Cody, but Cody obviously has less than that than CM Punk, because CM Punk started before Cody. But we'll wait and see. I'm often wrong. So you can laugh at me as much as you want, but I absolutely would love your take on this. So drop me a comment below. Explain to me why you think it was a heel turn. I will be surprised, and I may get into a debate with you, but it's all said with love, man, and I'm happy you to debate me back. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. It's right there. Hit that notification bell. Click the video on the screen to get my thoughts on SmackDown and how much I liked it. Otherwise, it is patreon.com/Simon316 for watch-alongs. $5 gets you in, or there's other price tiers as well. Grillamine.com/Simon. If you're into fitness, please check this website out today and use my code Simon. If it's not for you, it's fine. It ships worldwide, but my package is coming today. In fact, it should be here now. Interesting, and I'm pumped because these are the best supplements. Simon316 to follow me on social media. Simon Miller on Cameo if you want a personalized video. Simon J. Miller on TikTok, and Pro Wrestling Tees, a big cartel with my name to get some merchandise, mostly bald stuff, but full head. People can wear them as well. Keep enjoying wrestling, given what AEW's done recently, TNA, and of course WWE with their more or less constant sellouts. It is a great time to be a wrestling fan, so pick your promotion and ride it out of town. I'll see you soon.